Hey guys, so if you watched our weekly wrap-up for last week, you know that I was not sure whether or not I was going to do this review. But I decided that I should because I had thoughts on things that are sort of meta to the text, not so much the text itself. If you want to know just my thoughts on Bossy Pants by Tina Fey, you can go read my Goodreads review of it. I talk about the book itself and what I wanted of that, but today I wanted to talk about audience expectations and whether or not authors should fulfill those audience expectations. I went into this book knowing it was going to be funny. It's Tina Fey. She was a writer for Saturday Night Live. She's hilarious. She wrote Mean Girls. Like, she's just a great writer for film and television, so I'm sure she could knock out a really great autobiography. What I wasn't expecting was to love the first half of this book so much more than the second half. She spends a while talking about sort of where she came from, and I honestly really loved all of the stories she told. It was really genuine and funny and a little self-deprecating, but in a good way. And then it switched to the second half where she talks more about her career and what she's done since then. And I didn't like that section as much. She didn't seem to want to talk about it as much, and I don't know why exactly I'm saying that. There was something in the way the stories were told and the way it was written that made it seem less like something she really cared about and wanted to share, and more like something she felt she had to share. And I know from the title and just knowing what people think of her, more people would be interested in her talking about her later life, what it was like to be on SNL in a time when it was sort of up and coming or in its prime. Depending on who you talk to, a lot of people would say that its prime came before her era, other people say that her era was the top of the line, and then other people would say later it gets better. The title is Bossy Pants. You expect her to talk about what it's like to be in charge of people in television, and she does talk a bit about stuff while she was working on 30 Rock, stuff while she was working on SNL, but it didn't have the same heart that this Where She Came From stories had. I feel like in part this came from her knowing that there was going to be this expectation that she talk about this, and in a way she sort of tricked people into reading partly a different book. She cared so much more about the personal things to the work things, and she was able to tie them together in a way that I thought was smart, talking about how her childhood and upbringing made her the woman she is today and the woman that was able to do the things that she's done. But she also felt like she had to tie in the things that people are expecting, what she was famous for. People want gossip more than an actual book about actual things. So yes, this is a memoir masquerading as a self-help book, masquerading as a tell-all about the behind the scenes of SNL. And I don't think it actually is those things. It is an autobiography. It's her talking about where she came from, what parts of her life she thinks are important to her character, important to her life in general. I was disappointed that she felt like she had to add these bits in. They weren't as heartfelt. The very last chapter about her daughter I felt was very well done, and she was able to mix that in with sort of her moment of fame at SNL. But for me, I would have loved way more stories of when she was an awkward teen going to a drama school over the summer, or stories about how she and Tina Fey, when they were touring before SNL, would mess with the set list they were given, and all of these stories seemed much more important than the stories of what it was like to be a female writer at SNL, a major television syndicate, and what it was like to be trying to get your show that you love pushed at a television network. And I don't know. I guess those are just my thoughts and my own personal feelings. There are definitely a lot of other people who would have preferred more of the other half. So that's what I wanted to talk about, and that's all I have for today. I hope this wasn't too weird and awkward, and one of the reasons I was debating doing this video is because I wasn't sure I could articulate what I wanted to say. I feel a little bit like I rambled, but I don't know. Let's just let this video end now. I'll talk to you guys again soon. Hope you're having a good day. Bye!